Guys, what's going on? My name is Tomás Cardoso and I'm a photographer and videographer based here in Lisbon, Portugal, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. The other day I watched a video on Tyler Babin's channel where he tried product photography of some sneakers that he had at home.
You have to create the work you want to be hired for. So, one of my dream clients to shoot for is Nike.
And he was gonna use those photos to add to his portfolio for maybe even getting a future job. And so that made me think that I should probably do it as well, because I'm also interested in shooting for those kind of companies of shoes and whatever, because I'm really interested in that. And so I challenged myself to do the same, because I also want to shoot for those kind of companies and those kind of photos, because I really like sneakers as well. Yeah, I'll just try it and put my own spin on the game, on this challenge. And just like Tyler inspired me, I may be inspiring you to do the same. I don't know. So with the intro out of the way, let's just jump straight into it. Let's go shoot some sneakers. So the sneakers that I have and that we will be shooting are these ones. These Adidas, they're gray, they look very good, I really like them. I have them for a couple months, maybe 3 months, I don't know. That's really not the point. So my idea is that we start with some general shots just to see what we can get out of these sneakers and what photos we can get. And then start experimenting with some things that I already written down on a piece of paper and some ideas just to make the photos more interesting and add some quirky features to them. And let's go, shall we? Actually, my room and my sister's room are the ones that have the best light at this time of day, so I'll just capitalize on that. So I found these huge piece of papers. I'm gonna lay them down like a studio and let's just see what happens. So as you saw, I made this little contraption here. Let's see if it works. I'm just gonna turn it around and it should be like a box. Yeah, and I think I'll just tape this part here and maybe here so that it doesn't fall off. Yeah, and that's it. I think it's a pretty good looking studio. It's kind of whack though. My big concern with this is the folds. There's a side that is really heavy folded. I don't know if it's gonna work and if I can really remove it in Photoshop effectively. I'll see it later, but let's just try to shoot some photos. So you already saw me shoot the first shots. Those are the establishing shots, the hero shots of the shoot, how Babin called them as well. I really wanted to try these because I never did. I've never done product photography, like in this little mini set. And I was really stoked to try it. I think the results came out good, but they're just missing something. They're cool to showcase the product, but they're not you wouldn't use them for an advertisement. You would just use them to showcase the product on a website, for example. So now what we're gonna do is mixing it up with a few more effects. I have a couple in mind and let's just see what happens. So the first effect that I'm gonna try is using this mini LED that is actually lighting my face right now. We're gonna use it to create long exposures behind the shoe to make some lines with colors. So I managed to put my speaker behind the shoe to create this levitation effect that you're seeing right now. And I kind of dig this look. Now we have a problem. I want to keep the aperture kind of low on this shot because I still want some depth of field, but at the same time I want a long exposure, so I don't really know how much depth of field there will be because, I mean, it's in the middle of the day, we're letting too much light in, and even though it's overcast, I don't know how many seconds we will have to create those lights. Let's see. So the camera is now set up on this tripod. I'll try to shoot these. Let's just see how it goes. Okay, so we got some results. I think the idea is definitely there, the concept is great, but the execution is not quite there yet. I think I don't even need this window light if I'm going for a long exposure, because this is only hindering the situation, because I don't want the set to be super well lit. I want it actually very dim so that I can use the long exposure properly. Let's try again. Okay, so now I have changed the set from here, from my desk, here. A little shoe closet that I got. And I'm gonna try to shoot here because it's a little darker. And I actually have a wall behind, which is easier. I don't know, let's try it, okay? Yo, I'm getting sick results with this. You have to see them. Okay, so this is our current setup. I've set it here on my closet. Yeah, and let's just try to make some cool photos again. I detached this little tripod from my gimbal so that I will put it here under the camera so that I have a little bit more height to shoot the shoe. Shoot the shoe, that's cool. Yo, these ones are looking so fire, bro. This is my current setup. I have this light, I have this little tripod here with the light on top, and I just go here and I swivel around the sneaker so that it has those light paintings behind it.
Fuck! This one turned out so bad.
Perfecting these photos and making sure they look just as I want them to. And I gotta say, I'm really happy with the results. I'm very impressed how can long exposure really take product photography to the next level. I really didn't expect it to come out as good as it did. With that said, let's take a look at those photos, shall we? So these first few photos are just some Euro shots just to showcase the product's features, but nothing crazy. First one is my least favorite one. It's just a plain shot of the foo sitting up. It could have very well just be a layout shot, just rotated. I don't really like this one. This next one actually has some more depth to it. I really like this one. It really starts to get close to the brand and the little details that this product has that should be showcased on a product photo shoot like this. This third one is also very interesting, but nothing fancy. It's just a nice shot of the whole product put in perspective. Also, one thing you have in mind when you're doing these kind of shoots is that you don't want to distort the product with your lens. The wider the lens you use, the more you'll distort the product. And one tip I have for you is to actually maintain the product in the center. You can really see this when you're shooting cars, for example. If you're using a very wide lens, the car doesn't look straight at all, and most people recommend that you shouldn't even photograph a car below 50mm or 70mm because it gets way too distorted. And with shoes, it's the same thing, but with a few less millimeters. Okay, with this one I actually quite enjoy. It's a different one from the back. The product is well highlighted, I think. You have that little detail there on the stitching. I like this one. I like this one a lot. This one was the first one that when I saw in the back of the camera, I was like, oh, hold up. These are actually turning out very good. And yeah, I just got really hyped about it. Now, these next two shots are pretty much the same, but one is vertical, the other one is horizontal. These are also some of my favorites because it shows that in simplicity lies creativity. And you can do very much with very little. I mean, this image, all it is highlighting the brand Adidas and the logo while keeping the rest dark. And when you look at this photo, you really focus on the brand name. And nothing else. And that's ultimately what you should be focusing on. Now this is where it gets interesting. It gets very interesting. See, when I was shooting these pictures, I didn't expect them to look this great, mostly because I don't have a set at home or anywhere, and I was just using sheets of paper as backgrounds, and it turns out that in Photoshop you can do a lot, and I completely erased the background, as you can see, from the before and after, and I turned it into this. I faked that shadow. It's not a real shadow, it's a fake shadow. If you look too long, it's gonna look fake, but no one's actually looking at it. But man, the long exposure really exposes very well the product in itself. So when I was shooting this, of course that I was creating those lines, but I was also, on the end of the shutter, I was also lighting the subject of the photo. I was lighting the sneaker directly from various angles, so that it just turns out this very well lit photo. This one's definitely going in my portfolio. I fucking love this photo. Yeah, and this one's going on my portfolio too. Look at it. It's just it's pretty much the same, but more focus on the brand, like I was saying. It takes the other picture that I showed you, that is quite interesting too, to a whole another level. They look very sharp. The lights have the certain depth of field to it, in my opinion, and like I said, it's just another level of production quality. And you can see that top part that has that little bit of the piece of paper. I actually don't mind it, nor in the previous picture. It actually gives it a little more character, you know? I'm very happy with this. Now I'm very curious to know what your opinion on these shots are, and I would love it if you actually tried it yourself. If you have something going on, if you do some photos or video, try long exposure product photography. It's very fun. I felt like I was going back to the beginning when I started shooting. It's a whole other aspect of photography that you have to learn, and I know I could still improve on this, and there could be way better. But doing this was actually a learning experience, and it's very fun to learn inside the thing you love the most. But yeah, I'm rambling at this point. If you like these pictures, make sure to tell me down below. Don't forget to like the video if you did. If you don't, just leave. You don't have to watch it till the end. Do you know that? Whatever. Subscribe if you're not already. Turn on the notifications to get notified when I post a new video. And that's all from me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.